In what can only be described as a cold-blooded takedown, Steph Curry, NBA's deadliest sniper, obliterated Sabrina Ionescu in a three-point contest that stunned the world at NBA All-Star 2024. Stephen sounded the alarm, but no one was prepared for the level of destruction Curry unleashed. His precision was lethal, and Sabrina stood no chance against the unrelenting firepower of Curry's sharp shooting. This wasn't just a win, it was an annihilation, and the aftermath has left the basketball world in shock.
I want to stay with that subject. I got a quick take for you. Let's get it here. So Steph Curry edged Sabrina Ionescu 29-26 in an NBA versus WNBA three-point contest Saturday night. Ionescu's 26-point total would have tied the highest score by any NBA player in the three-point contest, won by Damian Lillard. S.A., is it fair to say this was the highlight of All-Star Weekend?
Yes, it was. I believe it was. I mean, I thought Damian Lillard winning the three-point shooting contest, it was really good. It was really good. I give them a lot of credit. Halliburton went out there and competed along with others. Major props. My man Jalen Brunson was there as well. Congrats to him. But Damian Lillard showed up, showed out, and defended his crown. Major props to him. But this was the best event of All-Star Weekend. Make no mistake about it. They treated it with the level of royalty, for lack of a better word, that it deserved, because nobody in basketball is going to dispute. There's not a single NBA player that would tell you when you got that, the championship belt or whatever, when it comes to shooting the basketball, there is nobody, including Damian Lillard, who would tell you they deserve it over Steph Curry. They know who the greatest shooter of all time is. And Ionescu, in her defense, shows up on behalf of the ladies and showed out, shot the ball really well.
Yes.
Give her credit where credit is due. She was exceptional, no doubt about it, okay? But Steph Curry showed up and reminded everybody who the hell he is. And he is something to behold. And it was nice to see it. And I give Sabrina all the credit in the world, because we saw what Steph did. But on that stage, she showed up and showed what she could do as well. And most men she would have beaten. She just happened to be going against the greatest of all time.
Yes.
And it was a lot of fun.
It was
maybe that's something. And you know what, Stephen A. and Molly, maybe that's something they add to the All-Star. You take the 2 or 3 best women shooters in the WNBA, and you put them against a Steph Curry. You put them against a Dame Lillard. You put them against the 2 or 3 best shooters in the NBA, and hey, let's see what happens. But I thought she acquitted herself very well. I thought she showed very well for the women's game, because, Stephen A. Molly, had she shot the ball from WNBA, they're going like, well, she should have did that well. Look how close she's shooting the basketball. But she shot from NBA range, and hats off to her. She didn't win, but she should hold her head up high, because she gave him everything he wanted and then more.
The other thing that we have to remember is that she had 26. She finished with 26, right?
Yeah.
If you remember, before the final round for the men, it was 4 different dudes that had shot 26.
But how did Curry, the deadliest shooter in the game, completely dismantle Sabrina in such a crushing fashion? Let's dive into the details of this brutal contest. Stephen A. wasn't shy when he hinted that this contest was going to be historic. The NBA All-Star 2024 three-point showdown between Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu had the entire basketball community buzzing for weeks leading up to the event. And why wouldn't it? On one side, we had the undisputed king of the three-point line, Steph Curry, a man who has shattered records with 3,577 career-made triples and countless clutch moments that have defined his career. On the other side, Sabrina Ionescu, young, hungry, and already making history in the Mamba. She had just set the NBA three-point contest record with an astonishing 37 points, a feat that caught everyone's attention, including Curry's. The build-up was fueled by this clash of titans: Curry, the seasoned veteran who redefined the art of shooting, and Ionescu, the rising star who seemed ready to challenge the throne. Social media was flooded with predictions, some backing Sabrina, believing her recent form and precision could dethrone Curry, but the more experienced analysts, including Stephen A., knew better. They knew that Curry wasn't just competing for a title, he was defending his legacy. And so, the stage was set. NBA's Anba, the best male shooter of all time against one of the best female shooters to ever grace the hardwood. But make no mistake, this wasn't just a friendly competition. There was a lot more on the line. The entire basketball world was watching to see if Sabrina could pull off the impossible. But as the clock ticked down and Sabrina stepped up for her first shot, it became crystal clear Curry wasn't about to let anyone take his crown without a fight. Stephen has said it best when he warned the audience, "Don't underestimate Sabrina, but never forget who she's facing." As Sabrina Ionescu stepped up to the three-point line, the crowd was electric. This was the moment everyone had been waiting for. From the first release, Sabrina was locked in. The first 7 shots were nothing but net. Every swish ignited the crowd and filled the arena with a buzz of anticipation. Sabrina was calm, collected, and firing on all cylinders. For a moment, it seemed like we might actually witness a historic upset. But as Stephen pointed out, the pressure of facing the greatest shooter of all time is a different kind of challenge. After that initial streak of 7 straight makes, Sabrina began to falter. It wasn't a complete collapse. She still managed to hit 26 points, tying the highest score from the earlier Starry 3-point contest round, but it wasn't flawless. Her rhythm broke, and she missed key shots in her middle racks, especially in those critical moments where Curry would have thrived. Sabrina's performance, while impressive, left the door open. She had set a solid score, but deep down, everyone knew it wasn't enough to dethrone Curry, not with the way he performs under pressure. Sabrina may have wowed the crowd with her early run, but the cracks were beginning to show, and Stephen could see it too. Now all eyes turned to Steph Curry. The pressure was mounting. But if there's one thing we've learned from his career, it's that Curry thrives in the spotlight. Stephen had predicted it. When the moment calls for greatness, Curry always answers, and that's exactly what happened. Steph Curry's start was far from perfect. He missed both of his Starry logo shots, an uncharacteristic misstep for the man who is known for hitting those deep-range daggers with ease. But as the saying goes, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and Curry proved this better than anyone. As he moved to the middle racks, Curry's focus sharpened, and he began to lock in. The crowd could sense it. The Golden State Warriors superstar was about to put on a clinic. With every shot that dropped, the tension in the arena built. By the time he hit his final 2 racks, Curry was unstoppable. He was flawless, sinking shot after shot from the right wing, the left wing, and especially that final corner rack, which he absolutely owned. It was as if he was back in the 2016 season, making impossible 3-pointers look like routine layups. Curry's final score? A staggering 29 points, just enough to edge out Sabrina by 3. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. He didn't just beat Sabrina Ionescu, never stood a chance. Stephen A. had described it as a battle of nerves and precision, and Curry proved why he's the ultimate competitor when the stakes are repetitious. But while the scoreline showed Curry's victory, what unfolded next was the real testament to his greatness. Stephen couldn't have summed it up better when he said, Curry didn't just win, he dominated Sabrina, who came into the contest with so much momentum, had her confidence shattered by the sheer weight of Curry's performance. But the beauty of this moment wasn't just in Curry's dominance, it was in how he handled it. This wasn't about humiliating Sabrina on a personal level, it was about showing that when it comes to 3-point shooting, there's Steph Curry and then there's everyone else. Despite the crushing defeat, Sabrina handled the loss with grace. She knew she had witnessed greatness firsthand. In those final moments, as Curry hit shot after shot, Sabrina wasn't just an opponent, she was a spectator like everyone else, watching history unfold before her eyes. Stephen had called it, this was one of those moments where you realize you're not just witnessing a game, you're witnessing a legacy being solidified. As Curry stepped off the court, belt in hand, Sabrina approached him for a congratulatory handshake. It was a moment of mutual respect, one that will inspire future generations of basketball players regardless of gender. But make no mistake, Curry had proven once again that no matter who challenges him, he remains untouchable. And as the dust settled, there was no denying it. Curry had not only won the contest, but he had also cemented his legacy in a way that will be talked about for years to come. Stephen made a bold prediction before the contest even started. This isn't just about one game, this is about setting the tone for the future of basketball, and he was right. While Steph Curry's victory in the NBA All-Star 2024 3-point contest was a definitive moment, its impact went far beyond the scoreline. This contest symbolized a shift in the way the game is perceived. Sabrina Ionescu, even in defeat, proved that the gap between the NBA and BA is closing. Her decision to shoot from the NBA 3-point line, despite playing with a smaller Omba ball, showcased her grit, determination, and willingness to push boundaries. But for now, Steph Curry remains the undisputed champion of the 3-point line. As we look to the future, with the 2025 All-Star Game in San Francisco on the horizon, fans are already buzzing about the next potential showdown. Will Curry defend his crown? Will Sabrina return for a rematch? Or will another rising star emerge to challenge the king? Regardless of what happens, one thing is certain: Curry has set the bar impossibly high, and the basketball world will be watching to see who dares to challenge him next. As we look ahead to future contests, one thing is clear: Steph Curry's reign over the three-point contest isn't ending anytime soon, and Sabrina Ionescu has shown that she is what it takes to compete with the best. Stephen wrapped it up best when he said, "Steph Curry didn't just win, he redefined what it means to be great." The 2024 NBA All-Star three-point contest will go down as one of the most unforgettable moments in basketball history. Curry humiliated Sabrina Ionescu in the most respectful way possible, reminding the world why he is the greatest shooter the game has ever seen. But more than that, this contest pushed the boundaries of what's possible in basketball. It wasn't just about one player's dominance, it was about the future of the sport. Sabrina Ionescu's courage and determination to compete on this stage has opened doors for more crossover moments, where the best from the NBA and Bomba can face off in thrilling fashion. So as the final buzzer sounds on this iconic showdown, we are left with one question: who's next? Because if anyone is brave enough to challenge Steph Curry, they better be prepared to face the greatest.